On this video, I'm going to be sharing with you two of the biggest blocks that are keeping you stuck from manifesting whatever it is you're trying to call in. Now, I am someone who has manifested some amazing things in my life, like my dream job working with elephants, trips to Hawaii, trips to the Grand Canyon, more abundance than I could ever imagine, just randomly showing up in ways I couldn't expect. So many different things, but I'm also someone who has ended up blocking some really big manifestations that were super close, and I felt so aligned, felt so excited, like, yes, this is happening, and then I ended up blocking it from being fulfilled. So I want to share with you those two major blocks that might be keeping you stuck right now, as well as exactly how to shift out of it so that you can get rid of those blocks, clear them out, and start manifesting what it is you want even faster. So let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Cara Michelle and I'm here to help you live your truth. So I want to get right into this. Make sure you stick around until the end because I'm going to be sharing with you some incredible breakthroughs and tools that you can use. And honestly, if you take this seriously and apply this stuff and really dedicate yourself to reflecting and looking at where these are showing up right now in your life, your manifestation will start coming so much quicker and it'll be really cool. And then we can celebrate together. So first block is the block of when you're not believing in it 100. I was actually going to say 110%, but I wrote that wrong, so I'll say 1,000%. When you're not believing in it 1,000%. So I want to give an example because this is going to really drive the point home about how powerful your belief is in yourself and in whatever it is you're trying to call in. Any kind of doubts or limiting beliefs, any kind of insecurities or unworthiness, any story in your head that's telling you it's too hard, it's not meant for me, like I'm not ready yet, or anything like that is keeping you from manifesting and calling in what you want. Now, Abraham Hicks talks about this all the time with law of attraction and the fact that the second you think something, it exists, like it already exists, right? It already exists. Whatever it is you want already exists right now. In the energetic realm, like the quantum field, in the physical reality, it's there. It just may not be directly in your physical reality yet, but the reason it's not showing up for you yet is because there's some kind of block. We are all energetic beings. We are all magnets for everything. And when you start to resonate and align with what it is you want, and you're just on that frequency all the time, there's no way for you not to physically see it around you. So this is where if you don't believe in your worth, if you don't believe you deserve it, if you don't believe you're ready, then you are going to be blocking it from showing up. So a perfect example for me of like one of the biggest manifestations I've had, which was a few years back. I'd always dreamed of working with elephants. A few years back, I was going to Sri Lanka and I was like, you know what? I didn't say I want to, I just knew. I knew that it was going to happen. I knew I was going to end up getting a job working with elephants. I had so much belief that honestly, like, people thought I was crazy. Before I left on the trip, I can't even count like the number of friends, family members, like my parents' friends, all these people who would be like, oh, what are you doing on this trip? And like, I mean, they didn't say it like that. They're like, oh, this is cool. What are you doing? Right? Like, where are you going? What's your plan? I was like, I don't know. I mean, like, I've got my first stop planned. I've got some ideas in the back of my mind of places, like countries I'd like to get to. I really want to work with elephants, and like, so I'm going to start volunteering there for a couple weeks, and I'm going to end up getting a job working there. I was so laissez-faire, just like, yeah, like I'm going to end up working there and it'll be really cool. And then everyone would be like, so like, how is that going to happen? Tell me more, explain this to me, right? because they're all living from the logical mind, which is what most of us do, and that is sometimes what blocks the manifestation, because the logical mind can really find the reasons, a million reasons why it's not possible, right? But when you're living from just like energy and just belief and that wholehearted knowing that this is what's going to happen because this is what's meant to be, then there is no way for it to not show up. So I would just reply to people, oh, I don't really know how it's gonna happen. I just know that it will. And like if they kind of questioned it more, I was like, man, you guys, like, I've worked with wildlife in Canada, in Guatemala, like I have done zoo animal technology courses, I have animal welfare certificates, like I have done some of the practical steps to feel like I have the knowledge, obviously not like specializing in elephants, but I have done a lot in this field. I understand animal welfare, and I'm just like, I love it, and environmental stuff. So I was just like, yeah, I think it's gonna work out. So fast forward, it did all magically work out exactly how it was supposed to. And I think almost in like a really crazy quantum field way, the reason things feel so believable for you sometimes is because like you have already experienced it in a different timeline, or like in the quantum field, you've already been there, because time is not linear. It's just linear in our minds, but like everything's happening all at once. So maybe the reason I felt so confident and calm and just like, yeah, it's gonna happen, was because like in the quantum field, I was already experiencing it. So it was like, I know it's gonna happen because I've already done it. And like, that's just like a little mind twist for you. But anyway, so when you're not believing in it 1,000%, you're going to be blocking it. So what you want to do here is look at every single belief that's coming up. This is going to be your homework. It might not sound exciting, but if you want to manifest something, you need to get clear on this. So like find the blocks, find the limiting beliefs. I'm just going to put them as LBs. I like to do that. So find the blocks, find the limiting beliefs. Question that story. So everything you're telling yourself feels real to you, but it's just a story. Everything you're telling yourself is just a story. So when you're aware of that, instead of letting that story dictate your life, you get to create a new story. So had I been feeling like, oh, I really want to work with elephants, but I don't believe it's possible, maybe I took on the belief of some of the other people who would be like, Kara, how is this gonna work? Are you really qualified? Blah, blah, blah. I could have very easily latched onto those beliefs and told that story. Oh, I'm not really qualified. I'm not ready yet. Like, who am I to have this happen for, right? All of those things. Now, what you would do is look at that limiting belief or look at that block and break down, okay, why do I feel that I'm not ready yet? Or why do I feel like I don't deserve it? Or why do I feel like it's too hard? Really looking at all these different stories and finding the fact that like they're false. They're not true. They're just stories you've heard from other people. They're just your own limitations. They're your own insecurities. Maybe it's something from childhood coming up that you really wanted something and you didn't get it, and so now you're blocking yourself in that way, right? There could be a million different things. But when you get really clear on the limitations, then that's where you start to implant this new story. So like solution number one for problem number one is to find the blocks, question that story, question its relevance. Like, is this actually true? That's a great question to ask yourself. Is this actually true? And then we can implant a new positive belief. Now, I talk all about this on this video here in regards to self-image psychology, and all about how the image and identity you have for yourself, how to clear that out and implant a new one so that your manifestation is easier because you've literally become the version of you who has it already. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like, if you are walking around like you already have your soulmate, you have this energy, you're just loving life, you feel so good, you're embodying it on the energetic frequency too, and you believe you deserve it, you believe you already have it, then there is no way for you to not just end up attracting your soulmate. So I really like to look at implanting the new positive beliefs and the energy. So it's mind, mindset, beliefs, and energy. So those two go hand in hand. That is why everything I talk about relates to one of those two things, because your beliefs are going to dictate things, but it's not really just the belief itself. It's not just the positive affirmation. It's not just the thought of I'm going to work with elephants, or I'm working with elephants, because it's already present tense, or I have my soulmate and I'm so in love, right? It's not just the belief that counts, it's the energy behind it as well. The energy, the feeling, the knowing that you are worthy and deserving of it, and that is why you already have it, and walking around every single day in that frequency of it. So that is block number 1. Now, if you're on your manifestation journey and you're not sure if you're blocking yourself, make sure you check out this video here. It's also linked down in the description box below with unexpected signs that your manifestation is coming, because maybe you're already on the path, maybe you're already calling it in and there are signs showing up for you, but you just haven't tapped into them or become aware of them yet. So you definitely want to check that out so that you know exactly where you may already be on the path, and maybe you're super close, and then you just need to uncover and shift out of one of these blocks a little bit here or a little bit there, and you're gonna have it. So check that out. Now, block number 2 is attachment. Oh, that dreaded attachment. So this is a messy whiteboard. Actually, it's better than usual, isn't it? So desperation, force, and what was the other word that I wanted to say? Lack. Now, attachment. This is a big one. This is where I personally have blocked a lot of manifestations before, because I start to see them, like they start to come in, and then all of a sudden, I get too attached to it and too strongly focused on, like, I want it, right? Now, when you do that, you're in the energy of desperation, you're in the energy of lack, because if you want something, it means you don't already have it. So remember what I said about the energy part. When you're in the energy of already having, then there's no desperation. There's no disconnect, there's no lack, and there's also no attachment, because it's just one with who you are, just part of you. So when you look at this attachment, what it creates is this big separation and that desperation, clinging to it, like I really need it. And that just puts off these energetic signals, and they're like, ding, 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 ding. No. If you want it too much, then it's not going to show up for you right away. And I think this is a big problem so many people get stuck in, especially when you desire it so badly, and you're like, I just really want to see it. I just really, like, even if you're like, just universe, God, give me a sign that it's on the way to me, right? But even that is coming from the place of lacking it, and coming from the place of fear and that really low vibe energy. So let's put that on there too, because fear of it showing up. Now, another personal example, I have done this with relationships. I've done this with my business as well, where I get so close to something, like having what I want, and then it's almost like this old self-sabotage comes in. And this is where step number 1, and uncovering the blocks, uncovering the story. looking at why this is happening is going to help you, because maybe you get so close to what you want and then like a part of you fears the change, or a part of you fears you're not worthy of it yet. And all of a sudden you get into this really different energy. You're also, that's when that clinginess, that neediness comes in, because you're like, oh, like, but it's so close. I just need it fully. Like, I just need that full expression of it. But that creates that energy that repels. And you think about like that really needy person or friend growing up, and how like the more and more they tried and the more and more they messaged you or talked to you or like reached out or wanted to hang out, all these things, the more they tried, the more you were like, whoa. Chill out for a second. It's like, let's step back for a minute here. And then you feel smothered, and like it's because they're getting too much into that desperate energy, that neediness. Think about that next time you're working on manifestation, and ask yourself, am I becoming too needy? And am I clinging to this and attached to this way too strongly? So the beautiful solution with this one is that, like, instead of this, you want to just already embody the, this is horrible grammar, but like the having, you know, like you already have it. So if you're embodying that, like I said before, walking around like you already have your soulmate, walking around like you already have all the money in the bank that you need to get through, embodying that energy. What would you be thinking as you do this, and what would you be feeling? So there was a time where I had invested a bunch of stuff in my business that I invested from a place of desperation. I wanted so badly to get to one of my goals. You know, I really wanted it. And I just was so clingy of like trying to force and make it happen. And I made these investment decisions out of desperation and fear. And guess what? Even though I tried to counteract that after and rebalance my energy, feel really good, high vibe, like chill, you know, aligned, believing it, this whole desperate energy was still there, and it caused a lot of problems. So I ended up maxing out all my cards. I had nothing left in my savings account, a couple $100, and I couldn't afford to pay my rent. Thank God I had a roommate who was willing to let me postpone it a little bit. And I was living off canned foods and rice, but here's the thing, is that even in that state where my physical reality showed lack of abundance, I went for walks every single day into the rich neighborhood. I walked around these beautiful houses. You know, these people would drive by me in these really nice cars, and I don't know anything about cars, but just being in the energy of abundance and being in this place of like, oh, feeling peaceful as I walk around these really nice areas. And like this, seeing these nice pools with these beautiful views, and I just go, oh, you know, like I took on this energy of this is what it feels like to be very, very abundant. Even though physically, in the physical reality, I didn't have the proof of that abundance yet, I walked around like it every day. I reaffirmed things to myself all the time. I got really clear on what it was I was calling in and what I really wanted, and how that would show up for me. And from that place, then I was able to take the actions from like my future self, who was already creating it and already living it, and I could then align and manifest faster. So your energy alignment really affects what shows up for you. So you want to embody that you already have it. So getting really clear on what it is you're trying to manifest right now, what it is you're wanting to call in, asking yourself, now, am I too attached to this? Is there anything in my energy or in my beliefs that's coming from a place of desperation and lack? If there is, look at that. Ask yourself some questions. Why do I feel this way? You know, why am I clinging to it? What are my fears around not having it? What are my fears about receiving it? Because these are all different things that could be blocking you from actually seeing it physically manifest for you. And then from that place, start to embody it and show up every day as if you already have everything you desire. Take the actions every day. Tell yourself this new story every day of being the person who already has it. Feel the emotions and the energy every single day. So that is literally creating mind, body, soul. This isn't even going to be on the this isn't even going to be on the screen, is it? No. This is creating your mind, body, soul alignment. Your mind, you are living the beliefs and telling yourself the story of already having mind. 2, you are in the body taking the actions every day. What would that version of you show up as? How would their day look? What habits would they have? All of these different action steps that they would already be living out, the sooner you start to live those out, the sooner you actually attract what it is you want, because then you're already in alignment. You're perfectly in alignment and ready for it. 3rd thing is to then align your soul, which is your energy. So that means showing up with the energy of already having it, feeling good, having those emotions, being high vibe, staying really positive and focused, being open and ready to receive, and being on that energetic frequency where you are already matching the vibration of what it is you want to call in. So comment down below, let me know which one you're going to focus on and which block you feel like is holding you back the most right now. If you have any questions about this, make sure you comment this down below. I'm going to start doing YouTube videos dedicated totally to your guys' questions. So whatever's going on related to manifestation, blocks, alignment, beliefs, anything that I've talked about in this video or any other video, make sure you comment it down below. Ask your questions and I will do my best to reply in the comments and then record videos specifically to that as well. Now, last thing, I want to share a story about one of my clients, Stephanie, who went from a situation where her physical reality wasn't matching what she desired, but it was matching what she currently believed, because she was working on a lot of self-esteem and insecurity issues where she wasn't feeling worthy of something better. Now, when you don't feel worthy, you continue to attract that which you're vibrating on. Like attracts like. So we started working together and we worked really hard right away off the bat on the confidence, on realizing that she deserves so much more, uncovering these blocks. Where are these stories coming from? Why do you keep reaffirming these stories? Where is the proof of these stories showing up? And now where is the proof of the opposite? And then how can we show up each day focusing more on the opposite positive stories than the negative ones, the limiting ones? So really creating that energy, that identity. And within like a week of working together, she already manifested an interview with her dream job. And then we worked extra hard for the next couple weeks on just continuing to embody that energy, to feel confident, to imagine what it would feel like to just walk in there, totally kill the interview, feeling good, feeling aligned, believing that it was hers. She sent me a text after the interview and she was like, I just felt so calm. I felt so at ease there. And I really feel like I'm gonna get it, because it just felt so perfect and so aligned. And she ended up getting the job, got to move to a new city with a job with better pay. She also manifested, it's crazy. She manifested this unreal apartment for her and her son. They finally had their first 2-bedroom apartment. She's a single mom. She'd been working her ass off trying to provide for her son, trying to do everything she could as a mother. But we worked on this identity, this self, and the belief system. And from that place, creating this new identity, this new energy, and she manifested basically a whole new life for her and for her son. And it was just so, so powerful and like such a perfect example of what's possible when you get out of these blocks and you break down the things that are blocking you from what you want and what is your birthright. So if you want to know more about that, definitely check out some of the resources down below. I have a free ebook, my Higher Self ebook. It's giving you 3 different shifts to help you align with your higher self. It's breaking down my 3-step process as well. And also check out my Inner Presence Bootcamp. If you are looking for a fast track, this is a 4-week program where you get to work with me, you get access to the online classroom, and lifetime monthly calls with me and everyone else inside the group. So you get to work on doing this work so that you can release and then start to align and manifest and use law of attraction, use your true power to create what it is you want. So make sure you check that out down below as well, and I would love to see you in there. If you want to know more about my 90-day program, check out the link for Conquer Your Mind so that we could work together privately, more in depth over a longer term. If you want crazy, crazy results and full accountability, full support, me right there with you all the time helping you. So make sure you check those out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, turn on the notifications, and check out all of those resources as well as the related videos down below so that you can just fast track your manifestation and get this stuff going. Get free of the blocks. Let's do this. You got this. I will see you on the next video.